Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're diving into something absolutely fascinating that happens right under our noses, or actually right inside our ears. I mean, we spend so much time obsessing over physical looks, right? We literally spend hours on our outfits, our hair, our skincare routines, kind of just assuming that visual cues are the whole shebang when it comes to attraction. But the reality? Our ears are constantly, unconsciously scanning for hidden ornaments of health, dominance, and romantic intent. Seriously, our brains are actively judging the quality of a potential partner before they even finish a sentence.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever seen the movie Her? It's that film where a guy falls deeply, profoundly in love with an artificial intelligence system entirely just by listening to her voice. It sounds like pure sci-fi. No way that happens in real life, right? But it actually taps into a very real, very powerful psychological truth. Your voice is easily one of the most potent, yet completely misunderstood triggers for attraction out there. It is entirely possible to fall head over heels for someone based solely on how they sound.
Section 1. The hidden vocal magnet. Let's unpack the unseen forces at play here.
Now, scientists have this rather clunky technical term for what we're talking about today, non-modal phonation. I know, bit of a mouthful, but let's translate that into something we can actually use. Basically, this is the secret texture behind vocal attraction. We're talking about those incredibly subtle, almost imperceptible shifts in exactly how our vocal cords vibrate. These tiny physical adjustments create unique sounds that totally bypass our logical brains and make someone seem instantly, undeniably more desirable.
Moving right along to Section 2, the deep voice effect. We're talking about the evolutionary power of deep male voices.
You've probably heard of the Barry White effect, right? Research actually confirms that a deep, low-pitched male voice naturally gives off this intense aura of masculinity, respectability, and dominance. But here's what's truly wild about it. This isn't just about sounding macho. When listeners hear a low-pitched voice, their brains literally perceive the speaker as being taller, larger, and physically stronger than they actually might be. It's basically an auditory illusion that creates an immediate, visceral sense of presence.
And there's a huge evolutionary advantage to this. From a biological perspective, women often perceive men with lower voices as much better providers. To see this in action, researchers actually looked at the Hadza hunter-gatherers, and they found that among the Hadza, men with deeper voices aren't just viewed as better providers, they actually father more children. It's a crystal clear, quantifiable link between vocal pitch and reproductive success.
So, the crucial point here is that pitch is essentially a biological honesty signal for testosterone levels and physical formidability. But there is a very strict biological limit to this trick. On one side of the coin, a deep voice is highly attractive. But on the flip side, if a voice drops too low, it completely backfires. It crosses this invisible line from attractive to just outright aggressive, making the speaker sound scary and intimidating. Your brain stops hearing good provider and immediately starts hearing a threat.
All right, Section 3, the vocal fry mystery. Let's get into the creaky voice. So, we're talking about creaky voice, which you probably know better as vocal fry. The physical sound mechanics of this are actually super specific. It's this low, rattling sound. If you really want to visualize it, imagine a wooden stick being dragged really quickly along a railing. You hear this all the time in pop culture. It was famously popularized by celebrities like the Kardashians. You know the sound. It's that distinct crackling texture that usually hits right at the very end of a sentence.
Now, what is absolutely fascinating here is the massive clash in how this exact same vocal texture is perceived depending entirely on the context. In a professional setting, studies suggest that vocal fry is heavily perceived as annoying, like to the point of being genuinely career-threatening in job interviews. But flip the context to a romantic setting, and the script completely flips with it. In dating or intimate scenarios, this exact same creaky voice is suddenly perceived as highly seductive, and it becomes a crystal clear signal of romantic intent.
A great example of this actually brings us right back to the movie Her. A study analyzing Scarlett Johansson's vocal performance in that film found something remarkable. The research showed that as the scenes between her and the main character got more flirtatious and romantic, the level of creak in her voice significantly spiked. Researchers actually described it as a vocal secret handshake. It's this entirely unconscious way for a woman to tell a partner, hey, I'm trying to be desirable right now.
Which brings us to Section 4, the biology of sound. Let's look at the hormonal blueprint.
So why do our brains care so deeply about these specific sounds, whether it's that deep rumble or that subtle creak? Well, this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening beneath the surface. For women, a higher pitch is directly linked to higher levels of estradiol, which basically signals femininity and strong reproductive health straight to a listener's brain. Now for men, a lower pitch, when it's paired with low cortisol, which means low stress levels, is an indicator of a super robust immune system. We are essentially using our voices as unseen biological ornaments to judge partner quality. In fact, it's so powerful that when people hear a lower-pitched voice, they consistently rank that person as being healthier overall, even if they have literally never met them face-to-face.
Section 5. Hacking your own voice. Let's talk about applying this vocal science.
Now that we really understand the science, how do we unconsciously use this stuff in our everyday lives? Especially during high-stakes scenarios, like a crucial business pitch or a nerve-wracking first date. The truth is, we aren't stuck with just one static voice. We are constantly engaging in something called audience design. That means we dynamically shift our vocal style based entirely on who we're talking to and the specific setting we find ourselves in. We just intuitively manipulate how others perceive us by tweaking our tone, our pitch, and our texture to perfectly match the environment.
Research shows that both men and women deliberately employ this vocal hack when they want to appear more knowledgeable or successful. And here are the actionable mechanics of how we actually do it. Step 1, we subtly lower our pitch. Step 2, we intentionally slow down our rate of speech. And step 3, by doing these two things together, we signal to the other person's brain that we are confident and that we hold high status. Honestly, you've probably done this completely without realizing it, the last time you really wanted to impress somebody.
To summarize this explainer, whether you're utilizing the deep resonance of a baritone or that subtle, creaky texture of a flirtatious whisper, your voice is an ancient biological broadcast. It indicates your health, it projects your status, and it clearly signals your romantic or professional intentions. Your voice is honestly doing a massive amount of the heavy lifting and attraction long before the listener's brain even starts to process your actual words.
So I'll leave you with this final thought and a bit of a question. Knowing all of this science, what captures your attention the most? Is it the deep, resonant baritone or that seductive, subtle texture of vocal fry? Which one wins your attraction? Think about it, and let's definitely start a debate in the comments below. Thanks for watching this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.